Rudo is the strongest giver in the entire series. He's got main character energy, plot armor, levels of luck, the power of flashback awakenings, and the most broken vital instrument in all of Gachiakuta, that he can turn anything he touches into a weapon, with zero limits or drawbacks. But what if I told you all of that is wrong? Because Rudo Surebrec started as the powerless trash Vandal, and became someone who wields one of the strongest vital instruments in the series. Yet even now, he still hasn't fully grasped its mysterious potential. Stage 1. Heaven. Rudo was born in the slums of heaven to parents who were suspected of murder. Those same parents would eventually get exiled to the abyss, also called the ground, and were never seen again. But before they disappeared, they left Rudo with scars on his arms that gave him constant, unbearable pain. After that, he was taken in by Regto, who gave him a pair of gloves that for some mysterious reason erased the pain in his arms. These gloves would later be known as 3R, one of the ancient pieces from the Watchman series. But at this point, Rudo has no idea about any of that. You see, in the floating island of heaven, better known as Sphere, there's no such thing as thought. And thought is what turns people's feelings into anima energy, which can create things that feel completely unreal, like trash beasts, or even better, vital instruments. Even though Rudo could wear the Watchman Gloves, using their power inside the sphere was a whole different thing. Which means this kid had the most powerful gloves in the world, and didn't even know it. Stage 2. Trash Vandal. As a kid, Rudo grew up not knowing what he wanted to do with his life. Regto taught him to not hurt others, but Rudo took that so seriously he'd rather hurt himself instead. At this stage, he has nothing. He feels worthless, and the frustration just keeps building. But Regto understands. One reason Rudo feels so empty is that he hasn't found something he loves yet. They just need to find that one thing, even if it takes time. And one day, that empty room of his will be filled with things he loves. So Rudo and Regto started trying different things, but nothing clicks. Nothing feels right. Until, one day, Rudo sees someone in the upper class dumping their trash. He opens the gate, runs to the garbage bin, and cries. He cries for the garbage that's been thrown away. He wants to fix it. He can see value in things people discard. Years later, Rudo becomes known as the Trash Vandal. At this point, he's gained some serious agility, enough to sneak into waste collection sites and dodge bullets from the cops. But people call him the Trash Vandal or Trash Raider because he collects junk and fixes it. And he's willing to risk his life to do it. He feels sorry for the things people throw away, though he also sells some to survive. Then, during one of his days as the Trash Vandal, something happens that changes everything. Rudo brings a stuffed toy he fixed to Chiwa, who loves it just as much as he does. He's so happy he turns red and runs home to tell Regto all about it. But on the way, he bumps into a masked man, an angel. This guy kills Regto, steals a piece of the Watchman series, and frames Rudo for the crime. Rudo gets thrown into the abyss, and down there, he runs into Godzilla-level trash beasts that almost eat him alive. While getting chased, he grabs a random pipe from a pile of junk on the ground. That's when the Watchman Gloves spark, just for a second, but enough for someone watching to take notice. It turns out that this kid, who is fighting special class trash beasts in no man's land, might actually be a giver. Stage 3. First Awakening. Engine shows up, saves Rudo from the giant trash beasts, and wipes them out in seconds. Then he ties Rudo up and dumps him at a human settlement, which turns out to be a base run by traffickers. Rudo gets chained up even tighter. They're planning to sell him for a huge price, big enough to let those traffickers and their families live easily for the rest of their lives. The stick Rudo used earlier didn't turn into a vital instrument, but the next ones will. Because at this stage, Rudo remembers what Regto always said, that things are alive. And if you treasure something long enough, a soul will live in it. That's when Rudo awakens. His first awakening lets him turn the same metal chains used to trap him into a vital instrument. He breaks out of the container he was locked in, and now controls the chains as weapons. The chains even change form and color. And somehow, even without ever training with chains or whip-like weapons, Rudo can wield them like a pro. This power hits hard. Like it can crush a boulder if it lands. It's strong enough to destroy anyone who's not a giver. And it can be used for semi-long range attacks too. At this stage, Rudo can even make other vital instruments right after using the first one. Because after the chains, he grabs a nearby tire and turns it spiky. While he can use more than one weapon, he can't wield them at the same time. Well, at least for now, not yet. But before we head to the next stage, if you're enjoying the video so far, show some love by hitting that like and subscribe button. Alright, let's keep going. Stage 4. Cleaners. After Rudo nearly sends the traffickers to the afterlife, Engine steps in and stops him. That's when Rudo gets a nosebleed, as it's his first time using the Giver's powers. Right now, Rudo can only weaponize 2 objects at a time, and only if they're trash or discarded items. His body just can't handle more than that yet. Injin sees all of this and makes him an offer. He'll teach Rudo about the world and the power of vital instruments, but only if Rudo joins the cleaners. Rudo says no at first, but things happen and he ends up going with Injin to the headquarters anyway. And by things, here's what I mean. After Injin gives Rudo a quick crash course on Gachiakuta's power system, which, by the way, you'll also learn in this video, he leaves to find a person who's supposed to train Rudo. Meanwhile, Rudo gets robbed by a cat. While chasing it down to get his money back, he spots a staff in an alley and grabs it to stop the cat. What he doesn't know is that that staff belongs to Zanka, one of the cleaners from Team Akuta, led by Injin. Things almost go south, but they clear it up. At first. The second time though, Rudo's friendly smile isn't enough to calm things down. Especially after he tells Zanka he's only joining the cleaners until he reaches his goal. So when Zanka activates his lovely assist staff, Rudo grabs a dirty plunger from the trash and uses the Watchman Gloves. The plunger instantly transforms into a vital instrument. Zanka, who thought Rudo's gloves were his actual weapon, now believes Rudo can turn anything he touches into a vital instrument. But even with that power, Rudo still has zero real battle experience. And Zanka, he's an experienced cleaner, a former top trainee from the Hell Guards, and a disowned son of the prestigious Nichiku family. He completely overpowers Rudo in the fight. That is until he realizes the plunger spreads human waste with every swing. Rudo wins, but it's not exactly a clean victory. Literally. Still, that's enough for Injin to officially bring him to the next stage, the cleaner's headquarters. Stage 5, Apprentice. Before Rudo can enter the HQ, he needs to get examined by Simu first. With her vital instrument eyes, Simu's kinetic vision gets a boost, letting her see through a person's true nature. At this stage, Simu picks up 3 things. First, Rudo already has high physical ability. Second, he has great harmonization with his vital instrument. And third, something she brushes off as just a turd on his neck is actually a curse. A growing curse in Rudo that could one day destroy the world. She won't report this to the cleaner's boss, Arca Corvus, until a few chapters later. Speaking of Arca, he's away on a business trip and won't be back for a while. So Rudo can't officially join the cleaners yet. With that in mind, Ryo suggests letting him tag along as an apprentice first. And right here is where Rudo's powers go through their next upgrade. Or maybe we should call it a downgrade. Rudo runs into a herd of gazelle and bull-looking trash beast, plus a giant trash beast that for the first time has a vital instrument as its core. Just so you know, this box cutter beast is way bigger and tougher than the usual ones. Vital instruments alone won't work. These types need their core destroyed to go down for good. Gris and Folo team up to help Ryo take care of the smaller trash beasts, which are still manageable. The bigger problem is the box cutter giant. No matter how many times Ryo slices it, it just keeps coming back. While Ryo is dealing with that, Gris and Folo are on cleanup duty. But things go wrong. Folo trips and a bull trash beast that was playing dead jumps up and goes straight for him, ready to cut Folo's screen time short. Rudo shows up just in time and blocks the attack with a broken fence. But here's the catch. Even though the Watchman Gloves activate, they don't work the way Rudo wants. The object he makes takes on a strange, useless shape. It's not even a wall or a shield. Standing face to face with the trash beast, Rudo starts thinking, how do I even use my powers again? Luckily, that moment buys enough time for Ryo to jump in and finish off the bull trash beast. She also defeats the box cutter giant and discovers something off about its core. Here's what's different this time. When Rudo used the chain, the tire, or the plunger, his powers kicked in because he was angry. Naturally, Rudo is quick to snap and lose his temper. But now, there's no anger. He's stuck, trying to figure out how the Watchman Gloves actually work, and he still can't. After the fight, they hold a welcome party for Rudo, but he's not really feeling it. He couldn't use his powers, and he got saved by Gris and Ryo. He doesn't want to stay the kind of person who always needs saving. While Rudo's stuck in that dump, Gris tells him something. Actually, he tells him a few things, but one really sticks. He asks Rudo what it is that he wanted to do. Remember that first. Go back to where it all started. Believe in himself, and the steps he needs to take will come naturally. Because even though he has fallen down here, he's still alive. Keep that in mind. This is a big reason why Rudo is finally able to use the Watchman Gloves properly again. And this time, it's a full transformation. Stage 6, first complete vital instrument. Right after the welcome party, a new request comes in. A merchant had supposedly passed through the contamination zone and got attacked by a trash beast, which stole some kind of important cargo. The cleaner's job is to defeat the beast and recover the cargo, which turns out to be a living person from the sphere. A spherite, just like Rudo. But that story, it's a complete bunch of lies. The whole thing was a setup by the raiders to capture Rudo. Zanka ends up fighting 2 of their members alone, until he gets caught off guard by Jabber. The same Jabber who eventually takes down Gris. Rudo sees it all go down, and when he sees Gris get hit by Jabber's weapon, the image of his foster father's death flashes before him. He catches Griss's amulet, and in that exact moment, the Watchman Gloves activate again. That lucky charm turns into a vital instrument. You see, the amulet was originally just a cheap little charm Griss used to pray to before every mission, hoping for everyone's safe return. But when Rudo thinks Griss is gone after getting pierced by Jabber's Mancura, he pours everything into that amulet, and it transforms. This time, it's a full transformation. The amulet becomes a floating magical eye. It has sharp lashes and massive limbs that look like shadowy arms or maybe wings. A floating giant squid. Unlike Rudo's earlier weapons, this is the first time the object completely changed to a whole different form. More importantly, it's the first time something that's not trash has turned into a vital instrument. That detail's going to matter in the next stage. This new amulet protects Rudo from enemy attacks. It can sense hostility and forcefully move the attacker out of range. It can reposition them randomly, or Rudo can choose where they get tossed, even send them flying farther. Doesn't matter if the enemy is hiding, blocking the amulet's view, or moving at lightning speed, the lucky charm will find them. However, it can't react to things with no hostility, like debris thrown just to distract. And when Jabber injects himself with his own poison and goes berserk, his attacks become mindless. That lets him slip past the amulet's mechanism. Still, with the powered up amulet and help from Zonka, Rudo manages to take Jabber down. And as for Griss, he actually survives thanks to Ishia's powers. But the moment the battle ends, the amulet turns to dust. This is also the reason Rudo couldn't use his powers properly back during the fight with the Bull Trash Beast. His ability isn't just turning anything he touches into a vital instrument. It's the power to bring out the full value of what he touches. But even then, that's still not the full explanation of the glove's abilities. Stage 7, Experimentation. After the fight against the Raiders, Rudo finds out he can't use his vital instrument again. Around this time, he's getting ready to head into the desert's no-man land of Pinta to meet Amo, the wielder of the Watchman boots, and the one who witnessed the angels flying toward the sphere. To prepare for that dangerous trip, Rudo decides to test his powers a bit. He tries using the Watchman Gloves on a clean-looking knife, but nothing happens. That is, until Zonka figures out two important things. First, Rudo has always liked fixing stuff that's broken or thrown away. Second, that might actually be the foundation of his power, a power that only responds to trash and broken things. And this is how Rudo will think about his ability for a long time, until something changes later on. But we'll get to that by the end. Zonka hands him a bunch of trash and discarded objects to try out. Rudo uses his powers on a set square, then a teapot, and finally a cursed-looking doll. And all three work. Back when he first activated the Watchman Gloves, Rudo could only use them twice a day, but now he's able to use them 3 times. The set square turns into a large black triangular blade with a razor-sharp edge. The teapot turns pitch black, slightly bigger, and with a longer handle. The doll gets a spiky collar and wears a black hoodless cloak that covers its entire body. But since Rudo hasn't tested them in battle, what these 3 vital instruments actually do is still unknown. After the 3rd use though, Rudo gets a nosebleed. For now, that's his limit. You see, vital instruments have a quality level. The better the quality, the stronger the power. And since the Watchman Gloves are part of the Watchman series, they hold endless thought, meaning their quality is insanely high. Possibly the highest of all vital instruments in the world, along with the other Watchman pieces. What's different now is that the set square, teapot, and doll don't crumble to dust after use. Earlier, the vital instruments Rudo created with 3R would vanish after serving their purpose because their remaining value had been fully used up. But these 3? Rudo hasn't used them yet. Their value hasn't run out. They're still usable because they haven't fulfilled their function. After learning all this, Rudo finally gives his vital instrument a name, 3R. Short for Reduce, Reuse, and Recycle. Once he arrives at Pinta, Rudo uses 3R on a broken keyboard to wipe out scorpion trash beasts just by typing a word and hitting enter. At this point in the story, Rudo already knows the true abilities of the Watchman Gloves, but it's only when he meets Zodil and gets taken by the Raiders that he'll learn what the Watchman series really is. Stage 8, Powerup. So here's what went down. You see, Rudo and some of the cleaners got snatched up by Katoni of the Raiders. Her manhole vital instrument lets her teleport herself, objects, and people anywhere she can. That's how she dragged Rudo, Engine, and the rest into the giant trash beast. Yeah, an actual walking mountain of junk, created by Zodil using a broken piece of a failed Watchman vital instrument. He even added 3 more vital instruments as offerings, including the Watchman boots. While the cleaners and raiders are brawling out inside the beast, Zodil pulls Rudo aside for a little heart-to-heart. He tries to convince Rudo to join his mission to take down the sphere. He also drops some heavy lore. As it turns out, the Watchman series holds an insane amount of thought. It was created and worn by someone with crazy strong anima. The thing is, if you're a well-adjusted human being, the Watchman series will break your mind. The endless thought and anima will basically flood your soul until you go nuts. Only people who've already lost the core parts of their humanity can use it without losing themselves. But even with all that tempting info and a fast pass to the sphere, Rudo refuses to switch sides. He's not about Zodil's grim plan. Instead, his goal is clear now. He wants to have fun with the people he cares about and get his revenge by living a good life. But first, he's gotta destroy the trash beast's core. To do that, Rudo whips out a new weapon, a nail gun. At first, it fires rapid nails like a regular gun, but it's not enough to break through Bundus's defense brought by his vital instrument, the hands. So, Rudo goes all in. He activates 3R, but instead of splitting it across 3 weapons, he dumps the remaining usage into just this one. The nail gun evolves into a massive nail cannon, loaded with insane firepower. It's a risky move because using all of his energy on one item means he could collapse after using it, but he takes the gamble. Bundus barely hangs on against the first shot. The second, his hands are obliterated, and the impact creates a mini explosion. At this point, one more shot would have ended it, but Rudo hesitates. Seeing Bundus's vital instrument break shook him. He lets up. The nail cannon fades out before he can take the final shot. Luckily, Rudo stays conscious. Stage 9, Ancestor. Sometime after Rudo and the squad clean up the giant imitation trash beast, Arcus sends Rudo on a field trip to Canvas Town. His mission is to help Rimlin draw the spellcaster mural, and in doing so, Rudo receives an old paintbrush. But more importantly, he sees a mural of the first spellcaster, Makakai Cole. In that painting are 4 symbols, one of them being the logo of the Watchman series. Seeing Rudo's surprise, Rimlin tells him that the symbol belongs to one of Makaka's best friends, the Undertaker known as Rudo Surebrec, who just so happens to be Rudo's ancestor. After their business in Canvas Town is done, Rudo is accompanied by Engine and a few other cleaners to meet the information broker, Kuro. Rudo's mission is to ask Kuro about the whereabouts of the creator of the chokers. Once he knows where he is, he'll have a lead to track down Amo, who's gone missing. But see, getting information from Kuro isn't easy. You can't just pay with cash, though that is one way. The price could be anything, even your life. In Rudo's case, the deal is simple. If he manages to catch Kuro on the way to the Forbidden Jungle No Man's Land Tori, he'll get his answers. And Rudo does catch him. In fact, he earns a bonus question and learns a lot. Like who Rudo Surebrec really is. Turns out, Canis is the creator of the Watchman series. He once wore all of them, but something went wrong. He failed to stop humanity from doing something terrible, something deeply connected to the sphere and the ground. In his last will, all he wanted was for his children to live happy lives. That final message from Canis is hidden inside a mysterious box, seemingly guarded by the King of Tori. Rudo uses 3R on the box, transforming it into a massive monster that straight up swallows the King of Tori whole. Before that, Rudo also uses 3R on the old paintbrush Rimlin gave him to deal with the trash beasts chasing them and the raiders, who are also after Kuro. He squeezes out the last of the ink and spreads it as a trap. That ink turns into giant spikes, piercing the entire herd. Then, Rudo creates a massive drawing of Rimlin to destroy the tunnel they're in without sending anyone to the afterlife. What's really strange about the box is how it responds to Rudo. When he uses 3R on it, it's like the box recognizes him. It's so strong it devours the King of Tori, a humanoid trash beast that even Engine and Rio couldn't handle alone. Stage 10, Dual Wielding. This is Rudo's first solo mission as a cleaner. After talking to Arca and learning the true mission of the cleaners, which is to uncover the mystery behind the world's past, Rudo proudly declares himself as Rudo Surebrec, the cleaner, and steps up for his first official job. Well, solo might be a stretch. While he's in charge, he's joined by Tamsi, Folo, Gris, and Tome for support. Their mission is to take down the dust trash beasts that have been swarming a village and forcing everyone to evacuate. With a better grasp of his power, Rudo gets creative. He uses 3R on a net to capture a gazillion dust balls plaguing the area. Even though Tamsi is holding back, Rudo now packs enough power to rival Tamsi's Tokushin output. But that alone isn't enough to handle the dust pigs sent by the core of the swarm. On top of the net, Rudo uses 3R again, this time on a blow dryer. Its wind power lets him blast the dust away while the net traps the particles and wipes them out. It's a solid combo, but the main body, an abandoned house acting as the true form of the trash beast, destroys the blow dryer in one hit. Now, Rudo only has one 3R use left. But this time, he won't be able to turn any object into a vital instrument. Stage 11, Anima Transfer. While Rudo's fighting the second dust pig, Folo finds the main body of the trash beast and gets excited. He finally thinks he can help in battle, but Rudo tells him to stand back. And just like that, they start arguing. Folo lashes out while the trash beast fully transforms into its battle form. To make things worse, Folo tries to sacrifice himself, handing his hammer to Rudo so he can at least be useful one last time. But Rudo refuses to let that be his end. Acting purely on instinct, Rudo uses 3R on Folo. That single move awakens Folow's Giver powers. His hammer transforms into a vital instrument, which he names Alan. With Alan, they're able to finish off the trash beast. Because the more Alan is attacked or pressured, the more power it builds up. Once it reaches the limit, Folow can release it all in one explosive strike. But after the explosion, the stress resets, and he has to build it up all over again. To be clear, Rudo didn't turn Folow or the hammer into a weapon. And Folow's not going to turn into dust or disappear. What happened is that Rudo transferred his Anima into Folow. This is some mysterious power Rudo has. He can share his Anima with others. Since Folow already had the potential to become a giver, getting a piece of Rudo's powerful Anima triggered his full awakening. Rudo basically served as the catalyst. Now, traces of Rudo's Anima flow inside Folow's own source. Stage 12, Extinct Costume. In this stage, Rudo learns the latest meaning of the Watchman Gloves. You see, during the Doll Festival, Rudo finally gets in touch with the choker maker, Gauntus, thanks to a special choker delivered by 2 Lily. Gauntus tells him to destroy the entire festival, but what he really means is to save the people from Mimo, who wants to rule over everyone using his vital instrument, Elenos, which has mind control powers. Rudo and the squad go up against Mimo and his bodyguards, but at this point, Rudo hasn't weaponized anything yet. That changes when Mimo takes control of the Adderoi brothers, members of the Danger Team, who are some of the strongest givers among the cleaners. Now Rudo has a choice. He could weaponize all the trash and debris around him and destroy everyone's vital instruments at the festival, but he doesn't want to do that. You already know Rudo can turn trash into vital instruments. But the thing is, it doesn't have to be trash or broken junk. The same case happened with Griss's Lucky Charm, but it's a mystery why Rudo cannot use it on non-garbage objects after that. This time, he turns the costume August made for him into a vital instrument. The parts that make up the costume aren't technically trash. They've just never been thrown away, no matter how old or busted they are. The jacket is made from scraps of the first fabric August ever cut. He's kept them for over 10 years. The hood is made from an extinct animal from a doll festival costume August made when he was 13, but it got ruined by a neighborhood bully and lost its lower jaw. The boots taught August the importance of weight reduction after he messed up trying to attach studs with melted metal in the past. There's also the first pair of underpants August ever pooped in as a kid, but we don't talk about that. August made this costume so Rudo could use 3R anytime, though part of it is that he was worried about the design. But all these things, they meant so much to August, and he wanted Rudo to wear them. He knows Rudo can find worth in anything, and it made him want to give more of his treasures for the costume. And Rudo's not gonna let any of those memories go to waste. He applies weight reduction to the boots, boosting his speed. That's how he's able to take the chokers off the Adderoi brothers and free them from Mimo's control. It turns out that Rudo can turn any object that was loved and cared for, anything that already has thought dwelling in it, into a vital instrument. That's what 3R really does. It draws out the object's worth and maximizes it. The more love it's been given, the better the weapon, and the more it explodes with power. And just like that, Rudo went from Trash Vandal to the wielder of one of Gachiakuta's most powerful vital instruments. But Rudo is not the strongest yet, and the full history behind the Watchman series and his gloves is still out there. So if you want to dig deeper into Gachiakuta's craziest secrets, this next video is where you go.